Good morning, world. I want to talk to you really quick about relationships in 2022. Okay, if this video go off, you can finish its entirety on my YouTube channel, LaShonda Cherie Flanders. Now, so you and your man, you and your husband, you and your bestie, you went through what you went through 2021. But you both have decided that you want to make it work. Hats off to you for sticking in it. Some things are worth fighting for. And if you're with someone who you love and who loves you, and you guys both feel like it's worth fighting for, then you're going to have to change your stinking thinking. Okay. Rule number one. You guys need to sit down and discuss whatever issues are at hand. One thing that I used to like to do during anniversaries is we would sit down and we would write a what you're not gonna do this year list and things that got on my nerves about you the previous year. And we would swap. You know, I would have more things written down than him, because you know women, we left socks on the floor, you left toothpaste in the sink, like whatever it was that bothered me the most, I wrote it down and we discussed it. So it was kind of like a contract. You sign in it, and when you see in 2022 you get out of pocket and you're doing things on my what you're not gonna do list, I can call you to it because we already had a conversation about this, and you agreed that you were gonna try to work on these negative things. Another thing is, after you guys have discussed it, talked about whatever you guys' elephant is in the room, sometimes you might need to call in a third party, meaning you might need to get spiritual counseling or go see a therapist so that you can really hash out the issues, especially if you're married. I tell people all the time, I love the sanctity of being married, and you have to protect your marriage. You have to fight for your marriage. You have to do whatever you can do to make your marriage work. So if going to see a therapist is going to help you guys, dig in a little deeper, do what is going to work for you and your spouse. Don't worry about what nobody else say. You do what's going to work for you and your spouse. Another thing, as a woman, what we have to work on, and I'm saying it for myself, what I struggled with was my thoughts. Yes, I forgave you, but I'm still having these thoughts of you with this person. Have anxiety because I'm worried about if you still talking to this person, or y'all still in communication. So we need some kind of security to know that it's completely over, and that you are a safe place for me to rest in. If I don't feel safe, if I don't feel comfortable, if I don't feel secure, then you're going to get the anxious part of me. You're going to receive the naggy part of me. You're going to receive the investigation part of me, because you haven't fully made me feel like I'm safe. And whenever a woman don't feel safe, we start doing things to make ourselves feel safe. Like we started, I remember I told you last week about men are like waffles and women are like spaghetti. We start acting like a waffle in some aspect, and we start putting stuff in boxes, and we don't close the box. We just put this one thing, and I gotta find out. I'm gonna put you in the box until I come to a conclusion of what's going on in the box. So if you're ready to move on in your relationship, in your marriage, then you got to try to make sure each other feels safe in resting in you. My analogy is, I want to feel like I'm on the beach and I can take my ponytail down and I can just let it flow in the wind, and I can be able to sit in you. I want to sit in you. I want to trust you so much that I can just fall asleep. I can just go on about my life and I don't have to worry about what you're doing. I think it's disrespectful for a husband. If you out there sleeping around and doing everything that you know you big enough and bad enough to do, and then for it to come back to your wife, that's disrespectful. That means that you ain't even trying to hide it. Like there's no respect. Not saying that you need to be doing it anyway, but if you are doing it, at least cover it up and don't be having your girl running up in my face and messaging to me. That's sloppy. That's sloppy. We ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know how to let your side piece go, you need to make sure your side piece is under control, okay? And let her know that who's the main chick, okay? I hope we don't have to go through this, but I'm just being real, because these are some of the things that people have to go through in their marriages and in their relationship. Now, another thing is after you've discussed something, we done went to therapy, we're moving on. It is selfish for both parties to keep bringing stuff back up. If you say you forgave me for something, my dad always say this: forgiveness does not mean that I forgot. Forgiveness means I don't keep bringing it up to make you feel bad about what I have forgiven you for. So you have to find new habits or new ways to change your stinking thinking. The word of God say that you're supposed to put on the helmet of salvation. During this time of transitioning, when you're trying to get over something that that traumatic happened in your relationship, you're gonna have to have on the helmet of salvation to block your ears, your eyes, and your mouth. Because if it go in your head, it's gonna trickle down to your heart, and you're gonna begin to act things out. You wanna have to be able to combat your negative thoughts that's gonna be coming into you like a rushing flood with positive thoughts. I read this book once, and it said that anything that you do for 21 days consecutively for 21 days becomes a habit. So I just encourage you for 21 days to try to replace your stinking thinking about your situation with something positive. Nobody is taking away the fact that it happened to you and that you're feeling the way that you're feeling. But if you're gonna move on in your marriage and your relationship, then we gotta move on. We gotta, talk about it. We're gonna get everything we need to do now. It's time for us to move forward. And another thing, you have to give the other person time and chances to make error and make mistakes. Nobody wants to feel like they're on a tight leash, and every time they fart, then you farted. I mean, pipe down. Like, ain't nobody perfect. This trial and error, we're trying to get it together. So you gotta have enough grace and long suffering to allow the other person to work out their own soul salvation in this relationship. It's not easy, but it's worth it. I tell people all the time, to me, ain't nothing unforgivable. Now, if you're in a relationship with somebody, they're trying to kill you, okay, run, Forrest, run. You know what I'm saying? If they crazy and psycho, run, Forrest, run. But other than that, if you and your spouse trying to make it work, y'all need to make it work. That's the beauty in seeing somebody that done been married for 50 or 60 years and they still in it to win it. Not saying that every day was perfect, but it shows you that they had the stick to ism. I'm saying it wrong, but my point is they were able to stick through it. It's not easy. It's complicated. But you took vows unto the Lord. So let's make it work 2022. Do all that you can do. So if something goes awry, you can at least say you gave it 190%. Another thing, as a woman, we have to learn how to soften our stance. When we're hurt, we begin to put on a bitter face, bitter words, bitter attitude, bitter body language. I mean, we all like this. You know what I'm saying? What? You want what to eat? Wash what clothes? Like, we got to learn how to soften our stance, especially if you already took all the steps to move forward. Now you got to become that virtuous woman that's in the Bible. You got to learn how to be meek, and you got to learn how to win your spouse's heart back. And it's through love and kindness, the words say, do I draw thee. So you got to learn how to be soft. You got to, it's almost like you're on the crucifixion, and you're crucifying your flesh, because your flesh want to tell them off. Your flesh want to fight. Your flesh want to go back and forth. Your flesh want to do all of this. But being that you want your situation to work, you got to deny your flesh the angry feelings. And when you're in that person, your spouse's space, on the phone with them, you got to become the nicer person. You got to try to win them over. You got to have pour honey on your words. You got to practice how to be kind and nice and loving, because you're trying to draw that person back to you, not push that person farther away into somebody else's arms. You want to draw them closer and closer to you. So you gotta, if you don't know how to do this, I tell people, there's no reason that don't nobody know how to do nothing, because everything is on Google and is on YouTube. You go find you some YouTube videos that show you how to use positive words of affirmation for your spouse, for yourself. Start Googling nice things to say. If you don't have it in your repertoire, you need to do the research so that you can put it in your repertoire, so that you can win your spouse's heart back. Even if you're a man, you got to learn how to win your woman's heart back. whatever made you fall in love are the things that you need to start redoing over and over again. And it's never too late for us to come back to you guys to come back to the drawing board and say, hey, we messed up, but we still love each other. Not just because we got kids, we want to make it work, but we want to make it work because we love each other and we want to make it last forever. So we're going to put in the work, the hard work that it takes, and it takes hard work to do this, people. It takes hard work, but we're willing to put in the hard work so that we can move forward. And you know, for me, this will be my 3rd time getting married. I want to break the generational curse because I don't want my children to be getting married 3 and 4 and 5 times. So we got to be an example of what a relationship look like for our children, because we're their only model. The stuff they see on TV is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be able to model relationship, healthy relationships for your children's sake. So I'm saying all this to say, 2022, you need to take the time to make things right with your spouse, your significant other, so that you can move forward. It's going to be weird. It's going to be awkward at the beginning, but you guys can do it. And I just pray that God bless every marriage and every relationship, that you walk in the peace of God, the love of God, the joy of God, and that He continues to breathe over you, that you guys have much sex, adventurous sex, that you just pour your love all over each other over and over and over 2022, and that you continue to be an example for others, that you guys are making it last forever. And if you need any help, you can order my book. You can see in the background. Rock Your Spouse World, 7 days out of the month, a wife guide to bringing pleasure and excitement back to a marital bed. Bring a little fire back to it. Do what you got to do, but don't give up. You got this. You got this. And all 2022, we winning in our health, in our wealth, in our relationships, in our friendships. Any ship that we in, we're winning. And we're winning together. I'll see you guys tomorrow.